In this video, we're going to be taking a look at General Veers for the Black Series 6-inch line. This is an action figure I used to own in my collection. I did pick him up at Walgreens when he was initially released. But this was during the time when I decided I wanted to go ahead and downsize my Black Series collection a little bit. And I thought, well, since we're never going to be getting an AT-AT in Black Series scale, why would I keep a General Veers? Well, fast forward a couple years and I thought, why did I sell that action figure? I really like General Veers. He's one of my favorite Imperial officers in general. And the 3 3/4 inch action figure of him is one of my favorite action figures. But fortunately, he is not that difficult to get a hold of, and I didn't pay a whole lot for him. And I'm glad to finally have him back in the collection. Here he is in the package. As I mentioned, he was a Walgreens exclusive in the US. Not sure what he was overseas. Perhaps it was Toys R Us in Canada or HMV in Britain. I don't know. It could be anything. And because he was an exclusive, he did not have a number. Very similar to Piet right there. And for his description, a cool and efficient officer, General Veers led the Imperial assault on Hoth, marching his AT-AT walkers across the planet's frozen plains and destroying the massive generators powering the rebel bases' protective energy shield. And nice image of him there. Same one there. But I will go ahead and get this opened, and then we'll talk more about him. And he's as great of an action figure as I remember him being. I could tell he's been in the package for a long time because a lot of his battle gear here was very difficult to put on. I had a hard time getting his belt to latch, for instance, and it is a little warped. So I will have to leave it in this position for a little while. Same for his helmet. But this is definitely arguably the best Imperial officer that you can get to date from Hasbro. And that's mainly because of all the gear he has. And also because it's General Veers. I mean, I think he's one of the most interesting officers Empire had. If I recall correctly, from just based upon the game Empire at War, I think he is the creator of the AT-AT. There is a mission where he demonstrates it. I'm sure he wasn't alone in that, but he did have a heavy hand in it. We'll take off his helmet here real quick. Looks really good. Too bad we didn't get more of this gear with a lot of the other officers. So the head sculpt, I think, looks really good. It's a very nice likeness to Julian Glover. And I think I did see something recently. He recently celebrated his 90th birthday. I know he still makes convention appearances every now and then. And as you can see in the package, he does have his officer's cap as well. You could have him walk around with just the breastplate here and then his cover on. Doesn't look bad. As for the rest of him, I think it's pretty much just the same Imperial officer's body like Tarkin and Piet here, with the addition of the gear. And the gear does fit over well. Like I said, it's been in the package for a long time, so it's going to take a little bit to straighten that out, but it will get there eventually. And I did mention in the Piet video, I forgot if Veers came with the same pistol as him. And I think that pretty much is the same exact one. It is a little bit of a tight fit inside that holster as well. But you can't get it strapped in. Articulation is the exact same. Nothing unique about that. I've talked about it so many times before. And as far as the facial likeness between the 3 3/4 inch action figure of him, I think this is the only Veers we've ever gotten in 3 3/4 inch. I suppose if you count the AT-AT commanders, but those aren't technically Veers. This Saga Collection action figure is still really good. It's one of my favorites. But the Black Series Veers here definitely has a lot darker colors. But I do like having the different interpretation of the two. And I think this is probably one of the best painted faces I've ever seen on Hasbro Star Wars action figure. Turned out really nice. It's kind of difficult to get that chin strap around him. But I do like the goggles more, I think, on the Black Series action figure. Definitely much more defined, and I like the little bit of the reflective look it has. A lot more realistic. Looks like the same rank badge as well. Not sure if that's the rank of General, but it could be. I would have to go back and refresh on the ranks of the Empire. Kind of makes me want to go ahead and get the AT-AT driver as well. I never have owned that one, but it's a pretty easy action figure to get a hold of. I did used to own the Snowtrooper. Would like to track that one down again. Doing something like that. I think that's pretty much all I can really tell you about Veers. Like I said, I'm going to leave the armor on for now because it's very difficult to put together. But I am glad to finally add Piet and then reintroduce Veers back into the collection. And that's pretty much what you see here is the bulk of most of the Imperial officers that Hasbro has done in Black Series. Would be nice if they do more. There's so many possibilities out there, but who knows? But anyways, would I recommend General Veers for your collection? I definitely would. If you could only have one Imperial officer for your collection, this potentially might be the one. I guess it comes down to personal preference, but just from more of an objective standpoint, you get all the armor with him, and you can basically have like a 2-in-1 action figure where you can have an officer ready for battle, or you can have him where he's in his normal tunic. So it's nice having those options. But I have nothing but great things to say about Veers. Like I said, I'm very happy to add him back into the collection, and he's here to stay this time around. And he looks really good alongside his 3 3/4 inch counterpart. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for playing more in the future. There's always more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate your support. And check out the links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.